All right, I've talked before about people having a skewed perspective on the world based on their general experience. Let me get into the reasons why I know that. Most people have their job, they go to work, they stay within their circle of friends, and watch TV or what have you, and that forms their worldview. I've had a different experience that way. And it all has to do with these things, at least was for the most part. I gained in the county that I used to live in quite a reputation for being able to do or handle tough repairs that other people weren't prepared to do. As a matter of fact, it was advertised on the back of my truck. I do the hard stuff. And I traveled from one end of my county and back again, meeting people from different walks of life all over the county. And one of my interests, obviously, has always been politics. And at that time, given my situation, which I'm not going to get into here, it was how my county sheriff's department worked. More accurately, how they worked behind the scenes. How was the county financed? How was did they gain their revenue? What were their priorities and so forth and so on? Well, it turned out that the majority of the revenue to run the county was made off of the poorest people who drank too much on the weekends, got in fights with their significant others or neighbors or whatever, and disorderly conduct tickets were written on a regular basis. And people would go into court and they didn't want to get in trouble or whatever, so they'd just cough up the money and move on and do it again. And that became a routine for the county. That was their base revenue. But it goes even further than that because it turns out that not only poor people have car trouble. So I've dealt with people who had to count pennies to pay their bill and people who had more than enough money to pay it, who generally, go figure, are the hardest to get to settle up. The poor people are generally really appreciative, and even if you're going to cut them a break, they want to pay you, even if it comes down to counting pennies on the coffee table. It's happened many times. It's the people who volunteered information on the upper levels of income where things got really interesting. Because that's, well, like they say, that's where the money is. That's where the people who operate do their thing. And that gave me a lot of insight into how I came to the conclusion that people base their worldview based on their own general experience, their own bubble, and that's kind of the way it works. I don't live in that county anymore. I don't even go over there. partially because I know how it works, but mostly because they know I know how it works. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why a lot of things are the way they are today is that too many people are onto the game. We know or have a general idea of how all of this works, and it doesn't work as advertised. That's why you have people like Hillary coming out recently and saying that people who post things or say things against their narrative of how it works or expose things that they don't want to expose should be prosecuted for their speech, something that goes against our Constitution. They don't care about that. If there's one thing I know and have seen and experienced, and this is quite literally why I live where I live today, once you get to the point where you start to understand how it works, you get a target on your back. And you will be harassed, you will be silenced, you will be taken out if it comes down to it, if they deem it's necessary. And there's more than one way to take someone out. You can take someone out financially, you can cut their legs out from underneath them on their speech, and, well, you go even further than that. That's how I know that everything changed in 2016. Based on the reaction of the people who are on the other side. Because I've seen it before. Hell, it's happened to me. And not just some guy out there out in the world trying to make enough money to feed three hungry kids fixing other people's car. Except for I wasn't doing it like everybody else does it, where you drive your car to somebody's shop, you park it there, they fix it, you come, you pay your bill, and you leave with the damn thing. I talk to people from all different walks of life in their own driveways, in their own front yard, under the big oak tree out front, what have you. And I asked questions that other people didn't want me asking. Is that not what we have been witnessing unfold ever since 2016? You're not supposed to understand what's going on because it interrupts their game. And they don't like it when their game is interrupted. And they sure in the hell don't like it or can't afford to have their game exposed and understood by the general public. Get it?